So feel free to unmute yourself, say hello, or you can put something in the chat box. I see there's 5 people in here with me, and I'm pleased to see so many. So let me get my share screened, my screen shared to start, and then I'll hit record here. Okay, there we go. And we are recording, and I'm going to get my chat up here too so I can learn more about everyone here in the room. There we go. Okay, so who do I have in here with me? I haven't gotten any chats yet.
Well, I am here, Jennifer Howard, PDE.
Hi, Jennifer.
And I'm going to start unmuting people too, just in case, so we can go ahead and hear them.
Yeah, and I'm Jen Roush. I'm here as well. I'm super interested in the teacher resources in PD as well.
Great. Okay, so I guess my first question would be to ask if you've used ProQuest resources before and which ones, since we have the 7 different offerings. Oh, and it looks like we've got Susan, who's a high school teacher librarian. That's great. Anyone used any of our resources? And if not, that's great too, because I want to show you all of them. Okay.
Well, we have in our district, I haven't personally been able to teach with them, but we've used them, and we've shown our teachers how to use them, especially the culturegrams.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since we only have a short amount of time here, what I want to focus on right now is SIR's knowledge source. Now, this product has what we call a guided interface, which makes it easy for students to use and find information that might be of interest to them. So with culturegrams, you would have seen that too, where there's a lot of graphics. It's easy to navigate with culturegrams. You know, you're choosing different countries and states. Well, here in SIR's knowledge source, you're choosing different issues to learn more about. So SIR's is going to have a little bit of a redesign later this summer. So you'll notice a couple of changes, but the look and feel is going to be fairly consistent to what you're seeing on my screen right now. Now, as it's currently branded, you see, trending pro-con leading issues as the description of what you're finding in SIR's knowledge source, but really what's here is opposing viewpoints. We are neutral on the issues that are explored within SIR's knowledge source. We're not going to say, one viewpoint is better than another viewpoint. We're just putting the information out there so that students can explore the topic and make their own decisions or be able to think critically about different issues. So as I look at the main page, what you'll find is some issues that are just picked by our editors at the top of the screen. In the new redesign, you'll also see, trending issues for your subscription. So what individuals at your libraries or schools have been looking at. And then if I scroll down, you're able to browse all of the issues either by an A to Z list or by topic. And I just want to dive into an issue so you have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say, oh, we're exploring issues here. So I clicked on one. Here we go, disability rights. So what happens when you click on an issue is that you're presented with an essential question. In this case, it's, are the Americans with Disability Acts and other disability laws sufficient to combat discrimination? And there's some background that's provided to students to help them learn more about what this question is even asking. Now, as I scroll down, there's 2 different opposing viewpoints. In this case, viewpoint number 1 is that people with disabilities need stronger protections. Viewpoint number 2 is that familiar with sources that go along with these viewpoints just to start, the process of learning about what this particular issue is, what are disability rights, what is currently going on in our country or elsewhere that makes this an important issue that they should be familiar with and care about. So for viewpoint 1 here, based on these icons, I can see that these are newspaper articles. For viewpoint 2, we have a couple of newspaper articles, and then also a press release. This is a government document is what that little icon in the middle, and I'm trying to circle it, is. So as I scroll down, you see all sorts of information about this topic, and you can limit it by source type. So if you want students to focus on particular types of sources, maybe not look at newspapers or focus on reference materials or what have you, primary sources, then they are able to filter the results. You can also sort by dates, by relevance, which is our default search, by Lexile measure, low to high or high to low. And you'll notice as you look at the results that the Lexile measure is clearly called out. And you'll see that in SIRS Discoverer as well, which can help you, choose appropriate content to share with your students based on the Lexile measure. Now, something I also like just about this simple interface is that the subjects are clearly defined at the top. If you want to, click in on some of these subjects, that helps students continue their search. For a particular resource here, I can also click down on this subjects list, and then I could, say, oh, you know what, I'm really interested personally in the disability rights movement. Maybe I'll click in on that and continue my search, and it will search that subject for me and return results that are relevant to whatever it is that I'm researching or that I'm interested in. Okay, so if I go back to the front page, and I'm just clicking on this issues researcher link in the top left of the screen, I can continue to do my browsing, which is really what we encourage with this particular resource, though you do see at the top of the screen, you could do a keyword search or a subject search if that's how you prefer to search or that's how you would like to teach your students to do some searching. Okay, now as I scroll down, there was one other thing on the main page I wanted to show. Looking at our entire list of pro-con issues, you might notice that some of these subjects have an asterisk next to them, and that means that there are multiple issues associated with a given topic. So if I click in on adoption, for example, you'll see that there's 4 essential questions that are being asked. Should gays and lesbians be allowed to adopt children? Should race be considered in adoption? Should Americans pursue adoptions from countries with known adoption regulation abuses? Do adoptees have the right to know who their biological parents are? These are all different issues that they can come in and learn more about and be more informed about with resources that our editors have handpicked. So going into the top of the screen here, I really want to show you these educators' resources that are available as part of SIRS knowledge source. Now, there are educator resources in our SIRS products, also in Culturegrams, that can help you integrate our products into your curricula. So one of my favorite things that we have as part of SIRS knowledge source is curriculum guides. So in the middle of the screen here, you see the tools, featured curriculum guides. This will remain when we do the redesign later this summer. So if I click in on that, we have 6 different curriculum guides that can help your students use SIRS knowledge source and really can be applied beyond that. One of my favorite here is this research curriculum guide because it guides students through the research process. So for example here, if you're using SIRS Issues Researcher, this first, encourages the student to pick a topic. Maybe they'll look at SIRS Issues Researcher and choose, a couple of topics that interest them. And then it guides them through whatever type of project they're working on. So what's the purpose of your project? Are you writing to persuade, writing to inform, writing a speech, preparing for a debate, or so forth? Who's the audience for whatever it is that you're working on? Do you have a personal connection to this issue, and so forth? So that's, it really guides the student. As I continue to scroll down, it develops basic knowledge by asking questions like, what do you need to know to better understand this issue? Who's affected by the issue, and so forth. So I'll continue scrolling. I won't, go through absolutely everything in here, but you can see it's really helping students think critically about whatever topic it is that they've chosen. It helps them select a focus and separate fact and opinion. I love the comment, Jennifer, that you put in that you could use this in college composition courses. I mean, it really can be used across a lot of different grade levels to help students think about, whatever it is they're working on, be it some sort of a speech or a paper, and really keying in on the information they're working with. And I love the separating fact and opinion, especially because a lot of the content in SIR's knowledge source is newspaper content. And I know that, obviously we've been talking a lot about media bias or, opinion just in articles that we read. And so it's really important that students, learn how to differentiate fact from opinion. So continuing to scroll, it shows them or walks them through how to write a thesis statement, pulling in supporting evidence, drawing conclusions, and then finally there's a rubric to kind of apply their knowledge and say, okay, looking at my final paper, is it well organized? Do I have supporting evidence? Do I have a conclusion? Or, they could work with a partner or peer or a parent to go through this and get some feedback on what it is that they've been working on. So it's a wonderful resource, and I just love these curriculum guides. If I go back, you can see that there's 6. I think the research is one of the longer guides that we have, but these can be used, clearly with SIR's knowledge source because it's part of the product, but they can really be used with anything that you're doing. And if I switch over in my other tab here, I have our ProQuest LibGuides page. This is specifically for the California K-12 project. So this is just for you all to first, find access information if you haven't used our project or products yet. There's access information here or how to register your district. And then there's a lot of good information on what each resource is. There's links for WebEx trainings that we've done, recordings and so forth. But the curriculum guides are also here. So if you don't, have time to get into SIR, to get one of these curriculum guides, they are available on the LibGuide, both in PDF and Word format. And honestly, you could just take it and modify it if you, weren't using it necessarily with SIRS. That's A-okay with me. So if you have questions about our resources moving forward, I would really encourage you to look at this page, and then you can always contact me, ask any questions you might have, and I'm more than happy to assist. So that's really what I have to share. I know I'm taking us straight to the minute, so I don't have a lot of time for interaction, but I did see some chats that you like the curriculum guide, so I'm grateful for that. So any questions or comments before we switch out? Oh, and I see the breakout room is.
Yeah, well, we have 1 minute. So anything that anyone wants to add? I mean, this was fantastic. I'm just really excited about that research guide. That was amazing. Like, that was kind of blowing my mind, how well it was organized and everything that it covered. I love the rubric at the end. Like, that was just really, really useful tool.
Good, I'm so glad. Yeah, it can really be applied in a lot of different ways. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay. Then
Thank you, everyone. See you in 10 seconds back in the main.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello.